Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Good Morning Powers. I'm your host, Allie Fulton, and today we're going to be taking a special look at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint.
The Boys and Girls Club is a nationwide nonprofit organization committed to provide a safe and inclusive environment for all children to help them reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens of the world. The Boys and Girls Club roots its history back to 1860 with Mary and Alice Goodwin and Elizabeth Hammersley of Hartford, Connecticut. They created the first club, the Boys Club, with the goal of implementing character development to not only inspire and educate the youth, but to also strengthen their communities. By 1990, the organization changed its name to the Boys and Girls Club of America, providing opportunities to children of all backgrounds across the U.S. The Boys and Girls Club supports and believes in the dignity of every child. Today, there are more than 4,000 clubs throughout the United States and more than 285,000 staff and volunteers, serving more than 4 million children each year. The current CEO of the Boys and Girls Club is Jim Clark. In 2004, the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint was born. Its current director of programs is Amber Miller. The structure of the Boys and Girls Club creates the perfect environment for the children, filled with activities for everyone. From creating arts and crafts, to playing sports in the gymnasium, watching movies in the auditorium, to hanging out in the game room, reading a book in the learning center, to playing outside on the playground, the Boys and Girls Club truly has it all. And now it is time to hear from today's special guest, Amber Miller.
This is Allie Fulton, reporting to you live from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint. I'm here today with Miss Amber Miller, the Director of Programs of the Boys and Girls Club. Miss Miller, what would you say is the overall purpose of the Boys and Girls Club, and how do you fulfill your role there?
The Boys and Girls Club is a movement, and it is a global movement, so it's not just right here in Flint, this Boys and Girls Club, but Boys and Girls Clubs across the continent. We all have the same mission, vision, and values, and our purpose really is to provide a safe place for young people to be and to grow and to become whatever it is that they desire to become. My purpose is, one, to spread the message so that people do know Boys and Girls Club and what we're about and why we're here, but also to be that consistent person that really provides whatever it is that kids need at whatever point in which they need it.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, Miss Miller, and thank you so much for all that you do to help make our community a better place. Back to you, Allie. It really is true what Amber Miller said. The Boys and Girls Club is such an amazing environment for children to just simply be themselves. I will never forget my first day volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. I remember seeing this little girl in the arts and crafts room in the corner all by herself. She was staring at a blank sheet of paper, holding a little pink crayon. I walked up to her and she asked me if I could help her draw a butterfly. It was something so simple, but immediately after showing her how, you could see the light in her face and the joy in her eyes. It was moments like that throughout my time at the Boys and Girls Club that made me realize how beautiful it is to help others reach their goals in life, no matter how big or small.
The Boys and Girls Club falls under many categories of Catholic social teaching, the first being life and dignity. The Boys and Girls Club upholds the dignity of each child and believes that each and every child is equal, respected, and loved. From my time at the Boys and Girls Club, I saw firsthand how we each are made in the image and likeness of God, yet no two of us are the same. Because each child is different, I have seen beauty in individuality. We are not made to be perfect, but we are perfect in the way that God made us to be. Psalm 127:3 says, "Behold, children are the fruit of the womb, a reward." This verse shows that each and every child is truly a gift from God, filled with beauty and dignity. The Boys and Girls Club is also a place of family and community. The Boys and Girls Club is a family that not only strives to create a safe space for children, but where children can fully be themselves, supported by those around them. Its welcoming environment is filled with motivational quotes. In the Learning Center, students can take a motivational card whenever they need. Isaiah 54:13 says, "All your children should be taught by the Lord. Great shall be the peace of your children." Teaching children about dignity and encouragement allows them to enter a community of stewardship and support. The Boys and Girls Club is also a place of serving the poor and vulnerable by providing more than 18,000 free meals to children each year. It's a safe space for children to go while their parents are at work. Deuteronomy 15:11 says, "Open wide your hands to your brother, to the needy and poor in your land." As Pope John Paul II once said, "This is solidarity, committing oneself to the common good." One person who always committed herself to the common good was St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, born on August 28, 1774. She was brought up to always love and serve others. In 1810, she opened St. Joseph's Academy in Maryland, the first free Catholic school in America, to provide education to children in need. By 1830, she had established many more schools throughout the United States. Though she was described as charming and dedicated, St. Elizabeth experienced many challenges in life. When Elizabeth was only 3 years old, both her mother and little sister died during childbirth. At the age of 46, St. Elizabeth died of tuberculosis. Pope John XXIII said that Elizabeth had sowed a seed in America, which by divine grace grew into a much larger tree. She was canonized a saint in September of 1975 by Pope Paul VI. Elizabeth Ann Seton is the patron saint of Catholic schools. She lived her life dedicated to loving those around her. Elizabeth Ann Seton would be an excellent patron saint for the Boys and Girls Club because, like the Boys and Girls Club, she dedicated her life by helping children grow in education and virtue. Because the Boys and Girls Club is a nonprofit organization, it relies on the donations of others to provide the children with what they need. After learning about St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, I thought of creating a book drive to promote more reading and to implement both literacy and education to the children. After the book drive, we were able to donate more than 100 books for the children to enjoy.
So as you can see, the Boys and Girls Club is truly such an amazing environment for children to be in and to be surrounded by those who are committed to the common good. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Good Morning Powers, and we'll see you next time.